It's time for The Shelf. Whangarei District Libraries Radio on Beagle Radio. Oh!
Kia ora koutou katoa and welcome back to The Shelf, a Whangarei District Libraries radio show hosted by Beagle 88.1 FM right here in their studio. Thanks for tuning in, everyone. My name is Karlie. I'm a Technical Services Librarian at Whangarei Libraries, and I'm flying solo today as all of my co-hosts are either sick or busy, but I'm happy to be here. Although I guess that means if there's any technical issues or awkward silences, we only have me to blame. Well, hey, let's wing it and see what happens. It'll only be on the internet forever. That being said, this is our 20th episode. Thank you to everyone who has tuned in so far and who's been listening online when we pop the epis up on YouTube. We've got some really cool content for you today, including collaborations with some local organisations, so stay tuned for that. But up first, a few housekeeping issues. Just kidding. I'm going to quickly run through some handy and helpful, timely tips for library users that have been popping up lately, so I thought I'd pass them along. Firstly, the backlist of our heritage talks that have been recorded are slowly and surely being uploaded to our YouTube channel. They have their own playlist called Heritage Talks. I wanted to mention this because not only are we so lucky to be able to share all this local history with our community, but there was a talk last week by Zanabelle of the Whangarei Museum that was super popular, to the point that some people missed out on attending because there was a seating limit. The talk was called Women Behind the Artifacts, and was an overview of three iconic Whangarei ladies named Jane Mander, Eleanor McLachlan, and Kitty Vane. I'm sure you've heard at least of one of them, maybe, if not all three. This is now on YouTube for you to access freely and enthusiastically. And another tip. Whenever a show is popular, we notice people coming back to read the book or a movie or what have you. Which is like, of course. So just an FYI, we do have the Bridgerton books if you want to catch up on that before the second half of season 3 starts. You might have to place a hold since it's definitely Bridgerton time, baby, and there's a lot of interest in these books. You have about a week, I think, to read the Colin and Penelope book before that show airs on Netflix. Speaking of TV and book crossovers, for children of all ages, as in there's a lot of grown-up children at heart who love this show, there are many, many, many Bluey books on BorrowBox. BorrowBox is a free ebook and e-audio book service that you already have free access to with your library card. We also have other services that do the same thing, so basically there's a whole world of e-resources at the ready, waiting for you to discover the thousands upon thousands of titles to read or listen to. We have a movie streaming service on Beamer Film, so that's that. And if there is a book that you really, really, really want to read and the library actually doesn't have it, and this goes for ebooks too, or DVDs if that's your preference, you can fill out a quick Suggest to Buy form on our website. Simply type in the word Suggest to Buy in our search bar on our website and fill out your details and about as much of the book as you can remember, which may just be the title and author, and we'll try our best to source it for you. We actually really love hearing your recommendations because this is your library after all. We want our collection to reflect our communities. Lastly, this podcast, The Shelf, has a webpage on Whangarei Library's website now. The page has an overview of our show, links to our YouTube, and to Beagle FM radio, where we're streaming live right now. You should also totally follow Whangarei Libraries on our socials. We're on YouTube, Insta, and Facebook. Please like and subscribe to show your support. And comment if you're feeling the urge. I thought I'd better promo these pages, including our website, because you're going to want to keep an eye out for exciting new stuff that we have planned. I could not be less subtle about this. There's really fun stuff in the pipeline. Now a quick run through of events upcoming. Preschool fun times happen every week for the bubbies and the toddlers and their guardians. Please come along for stories and sing-songs and a bit of a boogie. Tuesdays at Tikipunga Library at 10 a.m. and Wednesdays and Thursdays at Central Library at 10 a.m. It's always a good time for the kids. And there is also a puzzle exchange happening this Sunday at Whangarei Central Library. That's between the hours of 10 a.m. till 12 p.m. and the library closes at 1 p.m. that day. Bring your puzzles that you wish to exchange and you could swap it for something different. Your puzzles must be complete and in pretty good nick. And speaking of jigsaws, here's a little something I prepared earlier. A puzzling history of jigsaw puzzles. We have over 800 jigsaw puzzles in Whangarei libraries. It's safe to say that they are a surprisingly enduring hobby and phenomenon. Our awesome colleague Vicky does a fantastic job of ordering, cataloguing and maintaining this collection. And what a popular collection it is! I've been noticing that every day we have a whole horde of people returning jigsaws and then checking out 1, 2 or more out again. This got me to thinking, when the heck did jigsaw puzzles become a thing? Someone had to invent jigsaw puzzles way back when. And so I began puzzling about puzzles. So true to form as a librarian, I put up my research hat on and deep dived into the history of jigsaws. The world's first jigsaw puzzle was probably generally accepted to be made by cartographer John Spilsbury in 1760, a whopping 264 years ago. Although this jigsaw was actually a dissected map that was glued onto wood and cut into various pieces. Puzzles early on in the 18th century were a method for teaching geography. To be fair, Oxford English Dictionary currently defines a jigsaw puzzle as a picture printed on cardboard or wood and cut into various pieces of different shapes that have to be fitted together. And good old Spilsbury's crafty invention still fits the bill. Puzzles early on were an educational tool, and because of this, they were reserved for the upper classes. They were also seen as a product for the wealthier class because they were originally handcrafted, wooden, and therefore luxury items. Then jigsaws expanded to include paintings and scenes. Cardboard puzzles democratized the hobby. This started in the 19th century when puzzles started to be mass-produced. Puzzles became more accessible and popular, and eventually they became more intricate in shape and design. The term jigsaw puzzles is kind of a misnomer. They were first made using a marquetry saw. Eventually they got the name jigsaws because of the cutting tool, which was invented in 1880, even though they continued to be made with a fret saw. A fret saw puzzle, if you will. Nowadays, the cutting method is mainly by scroll saw, a die-cut press, or a laser cutter, which can easily render the intricate pieces. And did you know the proper term for the rounded bit on a puzzle piece is called an interjam, and the hollow bits are called blanks? But yeah, this is contested. There are also other synonyms like knobs and sockets, boots and spades, and narps, nerps, and nubbins. As for me, I tend to call them the innie and outie bits. However, the biggest controversy in the jigsaw puzzle world came as a shock to me, and I am still reeling from this discovery. You know those 1,000-piece puzzles that are standard issue? Get this, they are almost never that exact number of pieces. For instance, a Ravensburger, a famous brand of puzzle, has 1,008 pieces, but most are 1,028, and the amount of pieces varies depending on the brand. This is to keep the rectangular shape of the jigsaw, keep the aspect ratio of the image, and for easier marketing. About 1.8 billion jigsaws are sold each year. During the pandemic, there was a major spike in puzzle usage, just like there was a century ago during the Great Depression. This is because they are a cheap form of entertainment, or free if you use the library, and they're fun. They remain a popular activity for all ages. There are a bunch of benefits, health-wise, to doing jigsaw puzzles. The most obvious being that it is a mindfulness activity, a way to focus on one thing and drop the stress of your day. In this sense, it is good for your mental health. But did you know, jigsaws are super good for your brain? The act of working on a jigsaw puzzle, studies show, slows down cognitive decline, sharpens your memory, and improves your motor skills. Puzzling can be a solo thing, and, pro tip, many people swear by listening to e-audiobooks as they puzzle. It can also be a social activity with friends and whānau, and apparently there are competitive leagues for big-time puzzlers. There's even an annual World Jigsaw Puzzle Championship, for something to aspire to. If all of this sounds like your scene, you can borrow jigsaws from any of our Whangarei District Libraries. There are collections for adults and children alike. For adults, there are puzzles in a range of sizes, from 300 pieces to 1,000 pieces, and puzzles in XL sizes for those who have that preference. And in exciting news, we are adding some wooden puzzles for toddlers and young children to the Te Ao Māori collection in Te Pūananga at Central Library. Check out our catalogue for the full list of jigsaw puzzles or visit one of our branches to browse the selection and have fun puzzling. Yeah, so that was low-key lots of fun to research. This is me in real time, by the way. And just a note, we always welcome feedback on our collection, including puzzles, so let us know how you're liking the jigsaw collection. But also, we can totally tell you love it, judging by the amount of checkouts that we have in this collection. I just wanted to briefly mention that there's a flash fiction writing competition happening. The entries are open for submissions starting from a couple of days ago. Oh no, a month ago actually. And they close on the 30th of June. So you've got about a month to upload your submissions. About the contest, so the Whangarei Library 330 Flash Fiction Writers Group in association with Whangarei District Libraries, of course, wants your best and most brilliant story for their Flash Fiction competition. And so what is Flash? It's a very short form of storytelling. There are 2 sections in this competition, adult over 18 and youth 12 to 18 years old. And the prizes will be cash prizes and certificates. So write a complete and compelling story in 300 words or less, excluding the title, which sounds tricky to me, but I can't wait to read all of your submissions if we get the chance. So make us laugh, make us cry, and surprise us with your flash fiction. Entry is free. It's open to Northland residents only. And your name must not appear on the stories, so they're submitted and judged anonymously. Cool. All info is on our website. All right. Now, later on in the month, we have our Matariki public holiday. I'm sure we're all looking forward to this. Matariki is commonly known as the Māori New Year, and it refers to a cluster of stars that rises in midwinter. Traditionally, this is a time to commemorate loved ones that have been lost, to reflect and be thankful, to harvest and feast with family and whānau, and to look ahead to the future. We have some great stuff planned for Puanga Matariki, and we also have the program handy for the full list of Puanga Matariki events happening around Whangarei if you'd like to grab it from one of our libraries. As well as flax weaving classes for beginners and experienced weavers, that's been a smash hit so far. We also have upcoming events happening around Matariki time. All across this month, we have Mana Wahine talks, and that's starting tomorrow at 10 a.m. is the first one up in Te Pūananga at Central Library. That's upstairs at Central Library. The first speaker is Pauline Hopper, and that's tomorrow's 6th of June. She is the Northland Regional Manager for the Department of Corrections Community Probations Service. She has previously worked as the manager of the Māori Land Court in Whangarei and the National Coordinator of Māori SIDS Prevention Program. And after that, we have 3 more talks spread over the month of June. Please visit our website and come along to support these amazing speakers. Also, you may have noticed in the library, we have a bit of an installation happening for Matariki. It's called the Matariki Wish Upon a Star Art Installation Project, and it features unique artwork of Hiwa Itirangi by local artists Josie Selkirk, very talented, inside a shed located in the front foyer of Whangarei Central Library. So if you're wondering why there's a shed in the library, that's why. It may not look like much from the outside, but step inside this unique installation and glow amongst the stars. Hiwa Itirangi is one of the 9 stars of the Matariki cluster, known as the wishing star. It is to Hiwa that you send your wishes for the year ahead, similar to wishing upon a star or making a New Year's resolution. So this is a community mural, and we're filling it up with hopes, dreams and aspirations for the coming Māori New Year. And this is going to be on display throughout the Poanga Matariki Festival, and it's free entry. You can come and see what it looks like so far, and it's looking pretty awesome with the stars and wishes that the children have made in the workshop on the weekend. And luckily, Glenn caught up with Aimee from Creative Northland to talk a little bit about the installation, and we'll pass it over to them.
All right, so I'm here at the library, at the Central Library with Aimee Connor, and I'm standing in a big grey shed inside the front of the library, which if you come to the Central Library you cannot miss. So, hello Aimee, how are you?
Kia ora, I'm doing great, thank you.
So tell me about this big grey box that's sitting in the Central Library at the moment.
Yes, you're right, Glenn. It doesn't look like much from the outside, but the concept behind this box is actually more of an art installation. So don't be shy when you come in to see it. Please do step inside and experience the kind of artistic wonder that's featured inside the box. There's a beautiful art piece inside, kind of a centerpiece, if you could call it that, by a lovely local artist called Josie Selkirk. So she's come in and she's created a beautiful art piece, and I'm not going to share too much more on that. You really do have to see it to enjoy it.
Yeah. So what is this box called? It's got a name, this installation? What is the name of the installation?
So you can find it as an event, and we've kind of called it the Matariki Community Mural. And we've called it a community mural because although we've got this lovely feature art piece by Josie, we invite the community to come along, and we've got some workshops which we'll touch a bit more on shortly. But we would love the community to come and engage with this and to come and fill and add to the mural as the month goes on. So there's some workshops throughout the month of June that you can come and create some wishing stars and fill the mural with your sort of hopes, aspirations and dreams for the future.
Awesome. And just to describe, we're inside the box at the moment. There's a special
live
type
in the
of
box.
live from the box. Yeah. There's a special type of light in here because it's dark.
Yes.
Apart from what sort of light is that?
So it's just a UV light, and the materials that Josie has used to paint with are kind of UV reactive materials, so it's all glowing. So when you do come, if you do come, please do step inside, close the door to get that real effect of the colours pop and that kind of unique look to the artwork.
Well, it's definitely like an experience, isn't it?
Yeah,
because
you can come in your glowy colours as well.
Oh yeah, we were just in here. We were just in here with someone before who was buzzing out about all the colours on her shoes and shirt that were standing out in the dark.
Yeah,
so.
Bring your neons and your whites and you'll look alive.
Awesome. So, have you done this before, this art installation?
Yes. Not this as such. This has definitely been used before. We've used it for Northern Lights Festival. We used it for Art Beat Festival. Actually went to Earth Beat Festival. But that was always used in a more sort of free way, free expression. Just come and create. But this definitely has a bit more purpose and a bit more intention around the creation that we're hoping to achieve with it this time, just with that theme of Matariki and just that purpose of thinking about our wants and our aspirations for the future. And also perhaps you might like to use it as an opportunity as well to create a star for a loved one. So that element of remembering loved ones that have passed. And it's really personal to those who want to come and create for different reasons.
And if you do want to create and add to this installation, you're going to have workshops here at the Central Library?
Yes, yeah. We've got 4 workshops running throughout the month of June, and you can find the information for those workshops online. So you can head to the Creative Northland Facebook page, and it will be advertised as the event on there. You can also head to the Whangarei Matariki Festival Whangarei Facebook page, and the information is live on there too. Just in their events section, you can also find it online at the Whangarei District Library, and in the festival program as well. Yeah.
Nice. And how long is the installation up for?
So it will come down at the end of the month. We might actually run, you can watch the space, but like a bonus workshop at the end of the month. But it will come down on the 30th.
All right, so it's basically the whole month of June
to come and view it, or to attend one of the workshops. Yeah, it's open for viewing as well. If you don't want to come to a workshop, but you just like to come and see it and engage with it, have a look, you can come to the library any time within the Whangarei Central opening hours, and yeah, just come and have a peek, enjoy it.
Awesome. Is you an artist yourself?
No, not of this kind. But a bit of a creative background, that's for sure.
Nice.
Yeah.
And is Matariki a special time for you?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I think you all feel that energy around that time of year, and especially as you know, we've made movements this year to really to honour that time and celebrate that time within the community. And I do think it's a really special and important time to reflect and to. Think about life and where you are and where you see that going and your hopes and dreams for the future.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Oh well, thank you for bringing the big grey shed and the star installation.
Pleasure. Thank you for having
to
us.
The library. Yeah.
It's been quite a setup. Yeah.
Well, we love doing stuff like this in the library that brings people in. So thank you for making it happen.
No worries. Thank you for having me, and hope to see as many people engage with it as possible. Yeah.
Kia ora.
Kia ora. Thank you.
Oh, that is so awesome, for real. Thanks, Aimee, for your insight, and Glenn for conducting that interview. It already looks so good with the wishes and the stars that the children have been adding, and not to mention the amazing glowing mural again by Josie Selkirk. Thank you, Josie, Aimee, and Creative Northland so much. More info on our website, of course, about these workshops, plural, if you're hoping to attend. All right, and now I'm going to cut to a song while I get our special guests ready into the studio, and stay tuned.
Sometimes when this place gets kinda empty, the sound of their breath fades with the light. I think about the loveless fascination under the Milky Way tonight. Lower the curtain down Memphis. Lower the curtain down, alright. I got no time for private consultation under the Milky Way tonight. Wish I knew what you were looking for. Might have known what you would find. And it's something quite peculiar
Welcome back to The Shelf, a Whangarei District Library radio show hosted on Beagle 88.1 FM. And I'm joined in the studio by a very special guest. This is Verena from Volunteering Northland. Hi, Verena.
Kia ora.
Thanks for coming in and joining me.
Thank you for having me.
So just a little intro about Verena. She works at Volunteering Northland, like I said, which is based in Whangarei. And over the past few years, she has partnered with us and Whangarei Library to put on community events such as the Human Library and the Dragons in the Library. And we've invited her here today to talk about a different upcoming event that Verena is staging in the library called the Volunteer Fair. And that's happening on the 22nd of June, I believe.
Yes, that's true.
Yeah, so welcome, Verena, again, and thank you for taking the time to talk to me.
My pleasure.
So before we talk about the Volunteer Fair, can you tell us a little bit about Volunteering Northland as an organisation?
Yes, so our office is based in Whangarei, but we are covering the whole of Northland, Te Tai Tokoro, with our service. We are a non-for-profit organisation and we're a community development agency. So that means we support positive developments in the community. We support a lot of projects and initiatives and other community organizations that want to change the community for the better, and we do that through providing support around everything volunteering. So we help our almost 200 member organizations with finding volunteers through our volunteer portal. We support them with professional development training and first aid courses for, reduced fees, and support them with their volunteering programs and any questions they might have around that.
Oh, wow, that is so awesome. It sounds like a lot of work, but really good mahi that you're doing.
It's very rewarding, that's for sure.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's fulfilling, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah. So how long have you personally worked there?
I've worked there for almost 4 years now, I think. And I started out as an outreach coordinator for Far North and Mid North and Kaipara District. And then, I became the community coordinator over the years for mainly the Whangarei District and the Youth Volunteer Project. And do whatever is needed.
Oh, that's awesome. How long has Volunteering Northland been going? Do you know?
Must be about 11 years now, probably.
Wow. Yeah.
So was started by Bart and Lucy, and they started it as volunteers themselves, based on the model of volunteer centers in other countries. And there are other volunteer centers around Aotearoa, 16 to be exact, in different parts of the country. And we're just one of those.
Oh, that's so cool. What sort of local organizations belong to or do you work with?
Well, almost half of our organizations are in Whangarei. And that's from, all the big organizations like St. John's, SPCA, Red Cross, Fire and Emergency, so all those bigger ones, to very small ones, fully volunteer run, like, for example, Beagle is one of our
Shout out to Beagle.
Yes.
Oh, that's really cool. So what are the benefits, would you say, for those organizations for getting involved?
In the Volunteer Fair or with Volunteering Northland?
Oh, with Volunteering Northland overall, maybe, and then we can get into the fair soon. Yeah.
So one of the main things we do is connecting, connecting you with potential volunteers, connecting you with others who do the same mahi and have the same passion, connecting you with professional development opportunities, and we just keep you informed about everything that's happening in the volunteer space. That's, I would say, one of the main benefits, connecting people.
Yeah, that's so important. I don't know if this is a false perception, but there is this kind of perception that less people are willing and available to volunteer right now. So is that correct, or what is the state of volunteering? Is there still a lot of... a lot?
That is a tricky question, as in a lot has changed in the volunteer landscape throughout the last few years, especially after and during the pandemic. So worldwide, there was a drop in volunteers. I think the first year through the pandemic and then after was about 30% less volunteers all across the world. And then the second year, another 30% drop. And so numbers really, really fell after COVID. And now it's, so volunteer numbers are slowly climbing back up again. But we are in a cost of living crisis. It is hard for people to find the time because they need to work. A lot more, of the older population that used to be one of the main demographics that volunteers, they need to look after their mokopuna while their children are working. It's harder to get to a place to volunteer because fuel is getting more expensive. So there are a lot of different elements that make volunteering difficult for people. And so I would say there were less barriers before COVID. And people still want to help. That hasn't changed. It's just the circumstances are getting harder. So yes, the volunteer landscape is in a way struggling because the community is struggling.
Yeah. And that makes total sense. I guess that makes it even more altruistic for people that do have the time to get involved, knowing what's happening. So for people that have the time and are thinking about volunteering, what would you say to them to give them a boost or encouragement to tell them to give it a go, maybe? Give it a try.
Well, I personally volunteered since I was, I think, 16 or 17, first in Germany, where I'm from originally, and then here. And I volunteered with a few different organizations, and I never regretted it to volunteer because I got so much out of it. At first, I could, do a thing that I'm passionate about, and I can help make positive change in the community, which is an important thing for me. I learned new skills, so I upskilled professionally as well, quite significantly in some cases. I got to meet a whole bunch of new friends and make, create your network in the community, especially in a small community as, Whangarei is. It's really important to know people and to find out how they work. I got a lot of my, how do I fit into Aotearoa, actually, a lot of that context. How do I work here? How do people work here? I found that out through volunteering. I got references out of it for my jobs and friends. Yeah. So I just found a community through it and could do what I'm passionate about.
Enjoy.
So that's what I would tell people, that I never regretted it. I don't think you will regret it. There is little to lose if you try it.
Yeah. Well, that's awesome. I really love that point that it fosters a sense of belonging in your community by contributing to it, by making that impact. Oh, so that's pretty awesome. What ages of people can volunteer? Can children volunteer for anything, or?
Anyone can volunteer, all ages. It's just that if, for example, you're underage, then we would help you find a different volunteer role potentially to something you can do once you're 18 or older. Because you do need certain protections when you're underage, or you might need some sort of, you might need a space that can accommodate a wheelchair, or we have a volunteer at Volunteering Northland with a visibility impairment, for example. So it's just about it will take more time to find a role that fits you.
Yeah.
If you're younger, or if you have some sort of condition that you come with, requirement. But there is a role out for everyone. I really believe that.
Yep, something for everyone.
Yeah.
Oh, that's so cool. And before we move on to the next bit, recently you had an amazing race event for Youth Week. What was the purpose behind that? What was the reasoning behind that? Because it was really cool.
Yeah, thank you. Well, it started with me. I'm really passionate about youth and supporting youth in the community. And so I wanted to do that with Volunteering Northland as well, and not just through my volunteer work. And we got some funding for a youth project as Volunteering Northland. And so I started talking to the youth advisory groups and all the young people that I work with in different areas and am connected to. And I found that a lot of them would love to help, but that they don't quite know how and how to get involved and where to start. So I thought, actually, if it's an amazing race, it's fun. And there's a little bit at stake, but not too much. And then if you can volunteer while you're having fun, that would be an amazing way to connect with the organizations, because they can do a little volunteer task. We had 8 stations run by local volunteer organizations. And if they can go from station to station to do a little volunteer task that they would do if they would volunteer regularly for this organization, and at the same time they can connect with the volunteers from that organization and find out more about that organization, then it would be much easier for them to be able to make a start, because they lose this fear of, they don't have to connect anymore. They're already connected.
Yeah, they're already there, yeah.
And they're doing it with their friends. And that was kind of the motivation behind it, to just lower the barriers and kind of make provide a space where they can do the first step.
Yeah.
And,
Oh, that is so awesome. And well done for that. Congratulations. It went really well.
Thank you.
Okay, so the volunteer fair is coming up really soon. So on the 22nd of June from 9 a.m. till 12:30 p.m. The library closes at 1, which is why it rounds up a little bit sooner than that. So can you tell us all about the volunteer fair? I know I worked with you last year on it. It was such a good time. But in your own words, what's the volunteer fair all about?
So the volunteer fair is essentially a bit like the volunteer race, just for all ages and not just for youth. It's a place to connect, to kind of lower the barrier, to connect to all the amazing organizations we have here in Whangarei. And we will have heaps of community organizations with their own stalls, with mini volunteering activities that you would do if you would volunteer for them. You can talk to them directly, face to face. You can find out what volunteering entails if you want to help them out. And you can do something good while you're, talking to them and find out more. We've got heaps of amazing stage program planned, entertainment. We've got some young people who, are Whangarei locals that will sing and play. We've got Sistema. Again, doing an amazing music show. We've got some dancing. We've got a volunteer morning tea that is specifically for volunteers that we want to, we want to say thank you to all the volunteers here in Whangarei. And yes, that's mainly it. We've got door prizes and prizes for if you, complete enough of the volunteering opportunities around the library.
Oh, That's so exciting. Yeah, I cannot wait. So, are there any other names can you name drop a few other organizations that might be involved, or is it like a secret?
No, it's not a secret. So I didn't mention that before, but the 200 organizations we work with, they span all sectors. So environmental work, a lot of environmental work happening here, conservation work here in Te Taitokoro, youth, health services, arts and crafts, heritage, heritage and culture. Drawing a blank here now, but
SPCA coming this year?
No, unfortunately
the puppies.
not. I know the puppies were amazing. No, they aren't allowed to bring puppies anymore, actually, which is a bit sad.
Yeah.
So no, SPCA is not part of it this year. What we have is the amazing 116 will be there.
Yes, go team.
Yes. So our arts and community venue, theater venue, Rainbow Youth supports queer youth. Habitat for Humanity will be there. Good Bitches Baking, which is an organization that supports people with providing home-baked goods. Citizens Advice Bureau, they're an amazing team with a lot of cool, knowledgeable volunteers. Alzheimer's Northland, Multicultural, Whangarei, Wings, the Women's International Newcomers Group Social, North Haven Hospice, Northland Youth Theatre. This year, one of our new member organizations is Kiwi North, the Heritage Museum.
Awesome.
Then the Enviro Hub, the Eco Solutions Force and Repair Cafe, and Mountains to Sea Trust Community, Whangarei Neighborhood Support, and Grandparents Raising Grandchildren, which I'm also very excited about.
Oh, they sound awesome.
Yeah.
Oh, what a cool lineup. I can't wait to see them all on the day. Yeah, this is amazing work that these people are doing. This is so cool to have them all together in a space. Yeah. Oh, that's so awesome. So, who and what ages will find this interesting? So this is like for kids and adults as well. Again, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
So we're making sure that there's entertainment for all age groups. So some of the volunteer activities you can do, if you're a young kid. We will have some activities for kids specifically. But yeah, for all age groups. Bring your whānau and, just join the fun. It's kind of, the idea is to make the library into a bit of a play space, a playground for volunteering for the day.
Awesome. Okay, so this happened last year, and it was awesome last year. So is there any difference this year about how it will be run, or is it mostly going to be the same kind of thing?
Well, last year, because it was the first volunteer fair we ever did, we kind of crammed a lot in that one space. So this year there won't be any volunteer awards to go with the fair. We are doing the volunteer awards, but we're doing it as a separate event one week before. So it will be probably just a little, not quieter, but the stage program will just be stage program. That's, I think, the main difference. We will have a few organizations, like fewer organizations there. I think last year we were kind of, the library was choka. That's right. This year it will be a few less, which just makes it a bit easier to get around and actually spend maybe a bit more time at each stall. Other than that, we just hope that the space in front of the library will be
Yes, fingers crossed. Yeah, so
finished by then.
if listeners aren't aware, there's a bit of construction going on with pay work outside the library, so one of our entrances is blocked. So yeah, we're just fingers crossed that that's going to be clear in time, so more people can come in and enjoy the Volunteer Expo.
Yes.
And we might just get in on the nick of time there, I think, maybe.
Hopefully.
So overall, I know you've touched on this, but what's your main goal? What do you hope to achieve from this event? What's the big takeaway?
I think my main... I would consider this a success if people went away and said, well, this was a fun 3 hours I spent in the library. I learned heaps about community organizations and their amazing work, and that they're inspired to do something good in their community, either through volunteering for one of those organizations or joining another organization. So I think if they have connected with something that they're excited about, that would be my main measure of success for the day. Yeah.
Totally. And I'm sure that will happen. I'm sure you get lots of people that are really encouraged and enthusiastic after attending. So from the library perspective, we love having events like the Volunteer Fair as it brings the community together. Like you said, we love seeing that too inside the library, and it fits with our goal of having the library as a community space. And I think as well as doing good amongst the community, I think volunteering seems like really cool, because when you do good, you feel good. So it all comes back to you and giving to others. I love it. So we might have a couple of minutes to just finish up. I was going to ask you about the questionable research lab. So this is a different project completely. So what's that all about? Because I'm interested.
Okay, so I work for Volunteering Northland, but I volunteer for Questionable Research Labs. Questionable Research Labs is a charitable trust. We are, I think, about 7-8 years old now. And we started as a little coding group and robotics group just for Kevin, the founder's sons. And then we kind of grew from there. And now we have all sorts of weekend events, like 48 hours making a film, a short film, or making games, or making terrible ideas that are well executed. For example, we made a microwave that talks and is very rude to you.
Oh my gosh.
So that was one of our projects through one of these weekends.
Yeah.
We've got something on almost every day after school. So we've got the science group for younger kids. We've got coding, robotics. We've got 3D modeling. We've got filmmaking and costume making on Thursdays. And then on Fridays, we've got game making. And then we've got some D&D, Dungeons and Dragons, for the older ones at night. And whatever we find interesting, really. We do holiday programs. We were part of the Repair Cafe for a while, kind of teaching people how to take e-waste apart and how to recycle it. We're planning the Sandbox Convention, so that's another thing I'm part of, and the library bus will be part of. And that's our very own mini Armageddon, kind of nerdy convention for all things.
When was that again? That's coming up, isn't it?
Yes, so that's on the 27th of July.
Oh, cool.
And it will be at Forum North, so,
close to the library. Cool. Yes. So I think my main takeaway is that you're a very busy person.
Yeah, that is true.
But that's cool. You're doing so much good work in our community, and I know everyone's really grateful. And I'm grateful that you're coming to talk to me, so I wasn't talking to myself this whole hour of the radio show. And I can't wait for the volunteer fair coming up, so we'll both be there and we'll be having fun, I'm sure.
Yes, it will be amazing. So come one, come all.
Yeah, and just a reminder, that's 22nd of June coming up. So we hope to see everyone there, and I think we might as well wrap up the show here. I might throw it to a song. Thanks everyone for tuning in. You've been listening to The Shelf, a Whangarei District Library radio show on Beagle FM. Come along to the library, say hi to all of us, and see you next time.